I'm going to leave a like on this, and I'm going to leave a like on this, and I'm going to subscribe. Just to show you that there's no beef. Or is there? Should I beef with Fusilli Grind, or should we link and build?
Dude, I'm so
I
sorry.
am
I know.
my boat,
dude. Yeah, dude, I know. Hey, listen, dude, I give you $4.99 a month for that boba. All right,
that's true.
I'm
You've paid
I'm
for a lot of my
subsidizing that
bobas.
boba. I'm bankrolling your lifestyle, bro.
This is the least I can do.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the show. I'm excited to introduce our guest tonight. We've got a special guest in the stew this evening. We've got the gifted hater himself, Joa Field. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming, Joa.
Thank you so much. It feels even better the third time hearing that.
You know, little technical difficulties here. We're not quite as established. You know, we haven't been in the skate YouTube game quite as long as our esteemed guest this evening, but he's been very gracious, I'll have you know, and here we are. We're running it up for you, the viewers. Thanks for coming, Joe. Appreciate it, man.
Of course, I'm pleased to be here. And yeah, I'm here with you to discuss a subject that we are both uniquely qualified for.
Absolutely, yeah. We're talking glasses skaters tonight. And, you know, I think glasses skaters know, you know, if you're out there, if you're listening, you're a glasses skater like we are, you know the challenges that we face as glasses skaters. You know, I think if you are a vision impaired glasses wearing person to begin with, skateboarding is not going to be too high up on the list of activities that you're going to get yourself into, usually. And, you know, I think because of that, skaters that wear glasses while skating especially are a rare breed.
Yeah. I think in society, right, you know, we're a minority already. There's a good amount of people that wear glasses. I don't know the stats on it, but like in skateboarding, I feel like we're even a greater minority. You know what I mean? Like, you know, whatever percentage it is in regular, everyday common folk that wear glasses, we're even lower in skateboarding. So we're a real minority, though. That being said, you know, I do think you could have worse sports, though. There's some sports you play or hobbies, you can't even wear glasses at all. You know, like you can't box with glasses. That's not an option. So we are lucky that though we're visually impaired, we still have the option of participating in our favorite hobby.
Yeah, that's a good point. It hasn't stopped any of these individuals that we have on the list for tonight. It hasn't stopped us.
Yeah.
You know, I was gonna say before we get going, I was just gonna ask, you know, what's your glasses setup? You know, what's your experience with skating with glasses? Do you have a specific set of glasses that you run? How often do you go through glasses?
Yeah, that's funny that I like the term setup, because that would be a good you know, that would be a good parody, good spoof move to, like, instead of going through people's board setups, you talk to glasses skaters about their spectacles. That would be cool. But yeah, I what I used to do is I used to skate in my old pair of glasses, and there are a couple of reasons for doing that. Is, first of all, they can fly off your face, they can get mangled, and then, you know, the heat and the moisture that comes off of your face, I think that fucks your glasses in a variety of different ways, like the coating that's on the lenses, and it like generally just kind of like makes them dirty. You know what I mean? You can clean them, but it's like there's a certain, like, a human filth building up over time. There's no cleaning agent really in the world can fix. You know, when sometimes I go to the gym, or if I skateboard, and then I sit down on my car seat, I'm like, I know every single time I sit down on my car seat with Swamp Ass, I'm like, I'm chipping away at the fucking upholstery on this thing. So I'll like sit on a towel or something a lot of time. But anyway, similar kind of concept. So I also used to skate in older glasses because I actually liked not being able to see completely clearly. Like I liked having sort of like a prescription that was not quite up to date, because it would blur things just enough where, like, I would be not quite as worried about like cracks or something that might trip me up. It just generally gave me more confidence to just bulldoze my way through whatever I was doing. I don't do that anymore. I just wear one pair of glasses. I think most skaters like to wear one pair of shoes, and then they move on to the next pair of shoes. I don't think most people like to wear like 4 or 5 different pairs of skate shoes at any given time. That's my current approach. That's my current approach.
Word, yeah, me too. I up until recently, I had a pair of glasses that were like my dedicated skate glasses, and I actually brought them for a little show and tell here. Um, and they actually have the fucking
They got the
cables off
hooks.
the back so that they don't, because I've had too many pairs of glasses just fall off my face. The sweat makes them slippery, and they just I've broken several pairs of glasses that way skating. But now I recently found these cheap little silicone Amazon deals that hook on the back of the temple of the glasses, go around the back of the ear, and keep them grippy. So lately, I haven't had a pair of glasses hit the deck in quite some time. But I know that phenomenon you're talking about. Like previously, if I was getting too sweaty and the glasses started slipping, I would just put them on the sideline and start skating blind, basically. And there is an element of kind of like, I know the coping's in there somewhere. Just kind of got to go for it. So
Yeah.
definitely part of it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think it dumbs you down a little bit to a point that can actually, I think, be helpful.
all right, let's jump in. I've got a selection of glasses skaters here, and I'm sure we're gonna leave some out. Feel free to sound off in the comments. Oh, you forgot this guy, that guy. But let's let it rip. Let's start in. I think this is a good representative, sample population of the most legendary glasses skaters in history. So let's set it off with the big guy, El Numero Uno, Mr. Still Watching himself, the late, great Jake Phelps. Phelper, as he was, known by some. I put Phelps right up at the top. I think, skateboarding aside, even though Phelps was a pro skater in the 1970s, I don't know if you know this, but Jake Phelps was actually pro for the Pepsi skate team in the late 70s.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're telling me now for the first time.
Yeah, Pepsi had a pro skate
Not who
team.
you'd expect him to ride for, interestingly. You'd think he would be probably not too fond of a Pepsi skate team.
Yeah, the 70s, shit was different back then, I think. Phelps Phelps is an interesting character, and, say what you will about his political correctness, but, I think Phelps was one of the last great critical voices in skateboard media, and I think it's something, that's kind of lacking today. As editor-in-chief of Thrasher, I think he brought a really good narrative to skating and, the so-called rules of skating, because everybody likes to say there's no rules. But I think once you get into skating and learn a little bit, you start to realize that there are rules. Once you get into the social aspect of skating, you can skate in your garage, and in an incubator and become a Jamie Griffin type individual. But I think if you go to the skate park, go on a skate sesh to a street spot, you'll learn very quickly that there's rules, there's etiquette. And I think Jake Phelps is a really good arbiter of that and really important, enforcer of that. And I think Thrasher, in the modern era is lacking that a little bit. I think skateboarding in general, apart from our special guest tonight, is lacking in critical voices and people willing to kind of, speak out against injustice, against the unwritten rules of skateboarding. What do you think?
Right. No, I agree with what you're saying. And I think as well, it's like, yeah, Thrasher, it does seem like they are a little bit lost in the post Jake Phelps world. And I think it's a really difficult position that they are in, where they've got to, continue to kind of like drive this image of like the most core sector of skateboarding, and also like try to make money, and also like, try to keep the spirit and the direction alive of somebody who was like as principled and, I guess clear thinking about what he thought the way things should be. Is like he wasn't mincing words about any of that stuff. And I feel like, yeah, Thrasher has made like a lot of they made a lot of mistakes, and there's things that Thrasher does, like I was discussing, like, you know, the collabs they do, like a Yeti collab or like a Lacoste collab, and it's like a lot of the comments like, oh, Jake Phelps is rolling in his grave right now. And it's like, okay, how do you kind of like manage that and bring things forward, modernize things without like kind of betraying the original, I guess, like kind of direction and vision of what Thrasher was supposed to be. And I mean, I agree. I agree with you. I think, yeah, it's skateboarding overall. It's very like bag focused at the moment, and it's just not that. I just think that skateboarding it's not that cool. And ironically, skateboarding, when it's ultra popular, that's kind of when it seems like it shouldn't be that cool, because it's like a popular thing. It's no longer that niche. Right now, we're niche and uncool, which is terrible. We're done, like just watching that PSL shit like the other night. It's like the people, like the representatives, like the movers and shakers, like, there's like Mikey Taylor, Mike Mo, Tom fuckery happening. And it's like, this is what really depressed me actually about that PSL stuff. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent here.
Go off, King.
It's like everyone, it was shocking how like Michael was saying, everyone involved with that was like down. They were like, I can't wait, to be involved in this, because I feel like that was just like a temperature check on how desperate everybody was for everything. We're like, yeah, Mike Mo, sure, I'll do this, no questions asked. And then it ended up being boring as fuck. So, yeah, we're in a bad place right now. I think we are overall lacking kind of like principles and understanding, and it's like a weird place. And, political correctness, whatever. Jake Phelps, a lot of people said he was an asshole, not a nice dude, maybe other things as well. But, from my point of view, he was like a principled man, and there's not a lot. It doesn't seem like there's that many of those people walking around anymore. So from my perspective, like, it's a more rare trait for somebody to just fucking like this. These are my beliefs. I'm like unwavering or whatever. So yeah, I respect that about him, and not the best skater on the list, but in terms of like, cultural impact, and importance to skateboarding, I think you'd be hard pressed to make a case, that there are a lot of other people that can really compare to Jake Phelps in that regard. So I think it would be disrespectful to put him anywhere but at the top.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And that's why I had him first off, because yeah, I haven't had a lot of opportunities to talk about Phelps, but I think you hit it exactly. Principled, and there's just not a lot of backbone in this day and age. I didn't even watch that PSL. I mean, I watched a little bit of your live stream while I was making dinner last night. But it was, and I'm not usually paying attention to contests in general. I'll watch it when you stream them because I like your commentary on it. But man, even with the Joa spice on top, it was really hard to like even just
I was
engage.
depressed myself watching
it was tough. It was pretty bleak. So yeah, Phelps definitely at the top, I think, without question, for his contributions. Truly gave his life to skateboarding. All right, shit, up next, Chris Pastras. I think Chris Pastras might not be super in your wheelhouse. Am I correct in my assumption with that?
Yeah, you want to see? I watched about like 8 parts for this. I got like halfway through before we had to get on.
It's pretty good.
And I wrote, this motherfucker old AF. That's what I put in my Google Doc. And my thing about these guys is like, I have no interest in like trying to like undermine really the importance or anything of like, skateboarding history and stuff. But at the same time, I'm not one of those guys that's going to like pretend that this is ultra interesting to me. Like I've never, and I know that sounds really stupid because history is very important. And that's not necessarily lost on me. It's just that like, I always feel like I'm constantly having to pay attention to like the newest thing. So for me, I'm like, yeah, I feel like when I talk about older skaters, I'm kind of like somebody, a kid that's like 18 years old talking about how like Michael Jordan is the GOAT or something. It just kind of sounds like a little bit disingenuous because I didn't grow up watching any of these people. They don't have like the same relevancy. They didn't like, hit me in my formative years the way that they will have hit other people. I understand. I respect that. It's just for me, I'm like, I don't have the full picture on this stuff, and I'm not going to pretend like I do. He seemed like a good skater. I watched his footage, like solid style, but nothing about him necessarily like stood out and like blew me away because I don't have the context to know like what he did against other people at the time that would make his footage unique because we're so many years far removed now where I'm just like, yeah, it looks like some vintage footy to me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I agree. I think there it's a delicate balance. The know your history, young blood, old
Right.
head saying motherfuckers, and
Yeah.
and the I don't care. I just want to watch the new shit.
Sure.
It's a delicate tightrope walk. Me personally, I like to go archival and steep myself in the old shit. That's just my bag. And because of that, Chris Pastras kind of is somebody I really connect with on a few levels. He's from New Jersey, from Central New Jersey, which is where I hail from originally, so that hits me a little bit in the feels. But his skating and the way that he handled his career, I think, also really good. He started from a young age, like you said, good style, not groundbreaking in any way, but just like really good style, trick selection for the time, especially early '90s. He was just doing a lot of style when guys were just sort of tic-tacking around on tiny wheels. One of my favorite skate photos of all time is actually a photo of Chris Pastras doing a front blunt on a little out ledge. But just everything is sick. The outfit, the style, the swag. I think Chris Pastras goes perfectly into the spectacled swag lord tier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say you're like I hope this video is gonna be my like launching pad or whatever. Whether you're saying that as a joke or not, but it's funny. It's like you're starting off with like the second skater is like a history lesson. All the Zoomers are like fucking falling asleep right now with their iPads.
Well, I think that's the difference between me and you. I think the Fusilli grind clientele is maybe a little bit more interested in the obscure. And
Absolutely.
not the what's going on with Nija's latest ass
Oh
tat.
yeah, I'm in it. I'm in it for the blockbuster content. I like
know.
it.
Hey, listen, there needs to be both. There needs to be both.
Sure. Sure. And I also think, talking about his style, one thing I will say that I do know is from watching older footage is that most people had dog shit like style because it just wasn't developed or understood. So I think the fact that, he did skate with the fluidity and the finesse that he did, that's like, probably by today's standards, he would be ultra clean, ultra style.
Totally. He would be Carhartt whipped up, the jazz music, the black and white footage, some slam poetry in the background. Maybe, yeah, that's totally, Chris Pastras would be ripe for that.
Yeah. He's got the diagonal Ray-Bans, the oververt Ray-Bans.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Popular pick.
I forgot to say that on the top. Joe made a good point when we were getting ready for this. He was like, we need to talk about the frame selection as well and factor that in, to the ranking a little bit because, it's all part of your style. It's all part of your kit. It's all part of your setup, right? So, yeah, I think he's kind of killing it in the frame department. A lot of these guys are a little unimaginative with the frames, I'll say. Phelps with the kind of the classic Ray-Ban Wayfarers. Fine. Pastras kind of hitting us with something a little bit cat eye, which is cool. I think it's rare. I think you had a little bit of a cat eye thing going on a couple years ago.
Yeah, I had some pink cat eye frame things, and I like those. I like those glasses, but then after I moved on from them, I heard something that absolutely devastated my psyche, which was that my girlfriend's non-binary friend, and I'm telling this is a real non-binary mother. This is not any of that, for the Instagram clout bullshit. This is a real non-binary mother, and they were saying that like they thought that I was signaling some sort of like trans messaging or something with the pink frames or something. This is an expert in these subject matters. I was like, well, that was not what I was going for. They told me at the Warby Parker store that these were gender fluid, but that's not what I thought I was buying.
Yeah, people will take anything as a message, right?
No, totally.
They'll
Yeah.
latch on to anything. Up next, a little bit more history lessons. So iPad kids, feel free to fast forward. We've got the Shorties, Steve Olson. Is this new enough for for him to be on your radar? Do you know anything about him?
That's Alex Olson's dad.
Now, this is Alex Olson's distant cousin at best. Shorty's Steve Olson, just kind of a like randomly epic acid head kind of guy from the late 90s, early 2000s. Did you watch any of his footage?
Yeah, I mean, I clicked on a video and he wasn't wearing glasses.
Is that right? Fuck.
And then I turned around and I punched a fucking hole in the wall behind me.
Shorty Steve Olson, I'm a fan. Definitely not a style god by any stretch. But he was jumping on some big shit, when a lot of people weren't. Chad Muska's little weird homie. He also sort of descended into obscurity and became like a conscious rapper. I think he has like a super underground conscious rapper career going on. There's not much we're hearing from Shorty Steve Olson in this day and age. So I think he goes. I think let's just even him, just put him straight in the middle there.
Okay, how kind of you.
Yeah, I like Shorty Steve Olson. I have a soft spot in my heart. He skated to that Gangstar song, and now I'm just going on my old head tip, and you're gonna fall asleep.
I like
so.
you got it. You keep calling him like Shorty's Steve Olson.
I think you have to qualify it because the original Steve Olson, is a completely different guy.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Olson's dad is crazy.
Yeah, maybe the Steve Olson. Okay, maybe I was when I clicked on Steve Olson, I was literally just looking at videos of Alex Olson's dad.
Yeah, different guy, different guy.
Okay.
No, this Steve Olson's fucking, randomly epic, fried guy vibes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love randomly epic. Okay, missed that. Oh well.
We're gonna get into the modern era real quick here.
Thank God.
I know. Sorry, I had to start from the. I kind of tried to do this somewhat chronologically.
Okay.
So we can get into some more common era stuff that you might be more familiar with. Lindsay Robertson. What do you got?
Yeah, I watched a Lindsay Robertson part, and I was like, man, these 4-0 skateboards guys, their opening sequences of them all like on the brink of insanity, having meltdowns. But yeah, I mean, I saw heel flip indie in there. Also heel flipped Hollywood 16. This is just one part that I watched. And yeah, got the standard frames, like the Black Ninja frames, just the wire kind of rectangular ones. And I think there's a reason probably a lot of skaters choose those is they probably stay on your face pretty well because the heavier the frames are, I think the more likely they are to fly off into the nether. So yeah, I mean, I think Lindsay Robertson, classic, kind of good era for skating, maybe the most buck twink glasses skater that we might even have on this list. So I mean, I think he's got to be up in the swag lord area. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a fair place to put him. That's funny. Yeah, this thumbnail looks just like a Black Ninja lower third from a video where he's talking about how Cyrus Bennett can't kickflip. A little bit too fresh for that era of Zero, I think, but also, the heel flip indie, bit of a heel flip god, right?
Yeah.
It's funny, there's another heel flip god on this list we're going to get to pretty soon.
There is.
Kind of a cool dude. Another guy that sort of faded off into obscurity after skating. I think I tried to look it up. I think he works at a liquor store now. I think he ruptured his ACL a few many times and is just,
not a forgiving business.
Well, liquor store, a liquor store is recession proof. You know, good times, people are drinking.
Oh, I meant the skateboarding.
Oh yeah.
Skateboarding is not recession proof.
No,
Liquor store though, liquor store. When if you can afford to buy a liquor store, it's a good investment.
yeah. Bad times, people are drinking. Good times, people are
Yeah,
drinking. Yeah. So Lindsay, wherever you are,
yeah.
we'll pour one out for you tonight.
We fuck with you. We fuck with you
we fuck
heavy.
with you heavy. Great contribution to glasses wearing in
You
his
put us
era.
on. You
Yeah,
put us on.
you put us on for real. Respect, respect. All right, here's another real one coming up.
Okay.
Marissa Del
Mm-hmm.
Santo.
Yeah.
I think Marissa's got to go top
Mm-hmm.
heap. I think Marissa, if you want to talk about like buckness, as well as Lindsay, also both zero skaters, right? Both kind of on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she's the buckest female skater of all time, still to this
Yeah.
day.
I mean, I think not only like the buckist, but in my opinion, there's not anybody that's had like a more real, authentic, at like street part that coming from a female than Marissa Del Santo. I don't think there's it, and I don't think it's particularly close either. Like I don't really think that any, and there's going to be people that are going to comment a bunch of random, stuff. And Alexis Ablone has had some okay to decent footage, but not anything that, in my opinion, has been like over her career, like properly reflective of her skill level. And that's always been a difficulty is getting girls to try really hard in the street. And there's no question Marissa Del Santo like tried maybe harder than she should have, maybe harder than was wise. Like she absolutely got fucking obliterated multiple times. But I mean, it made for an absolutely like historic, iconic iconic footage. So I agree with you. She's got to be S tier because if you're the best of any one particular thing, like because again, just my opinion, but I think she's the best female street skateboarder of all time.
I completely agree. And, I think, yeah, like Alexis, her early footage from the PJ Ladd video, groundbreaking, amazing. But just the level that, like you said, the level that Marissa went to, the amount of blood that was shed, probably ill-advised type maneuvers that she was doing. Amazing contribution to female skateboarding. So, Marissa, we salute you.
Mm-hmm.
Good frames too. They suit her well. More people. I was surprised with how many people on this list have the sort of shallower frames,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to sort of a wide, more square frame.
Yeah.
But it shows that she knew what she was doing. At the Lens Crafters by picking those out. So
Are you a lens crafters guy? What's your
no,
move?
hell no. I get glasses just by happenstance. Like these, I got made on the street in Vietnam. While I
Oh,
was on my honeymoon, I was like, oh, I wonder if this guy can make me some. This guy made me glasses in an afternoon. Matched
wow.
my prescription up, $30 round trip.
Wow.
Yeah, and he chose the frames for me. He knew. He looked at me. He was like, I was like
Yeah.
looking at his wares. I was trying some on. He's like, no. This guy didn't speak a word of English, by the way. He was like, no, and he pulled these out, and I went back and found the factory in Korea that makes them, and I bought like 6 more pair for like.
Okay, yeah. When you find a frame that you like, I mean, it's hard to move on.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
radical.
Interested to hear what you think about Neen Williams.
Mm. Neen. Okay. So I'm starting, huh?
Well, if you want.
Okay. I mean, I think, man, maybe I'm gonna catch some flack I think I grew up watching Neen, so I thought he was cool. Coming back now, like seeing his footage, I'm like, I'm not like the biggest fan. Like the heel flip is impressive. It's obviously, oh wow, like it's boning that out, but I'm like, it's not really like a type of skateboarding that I'm not like super. It's a little too like, eyes on me. Um, kind of it's just a little over the top
There's a bit of
for me.
peacocking, yeah, with that
There's
heel
a bit of
flip.
peacocking. All right. There's a bit of peacocking. So it's like, yeah, I get it's like iconic move. And the vast majority of people love it. So that's just my my opinion. The other thing about Neen is like I think skateboarding is funny because there's this constant like discussion about like, oh, should you be eating healthy? Like, should you be exercising? Should you be taking care of your body? It's like, of course you should. Skateboarding is this athletic pursuit. It's this endeavor, but there's also like, it's like, why is it that every time somebody starts doing that, they like, or they just become like instantly lame? So I don't know, like, it's certainly not like impossible or anything, but I don't, and maybe it's that it happens like too late. Maybe it's like, oh, now I'm gonna start swinging a kettlebell around in my living room after my legs have exploded. You know what I mean? And I like can't skateboard. So I don't fucking know. All I know is like I look at the data and I'm like, why? There's not like there's no cool. I haven't seen a single like cool skater that is also heavily interested in fitness and health. So yeah, I'm just not. I'm not a Neen denier, but I think I'm going to be lower on Neen than a lot of people will.
Yeah, he definitely played up the fitness thing pretty heavy. And again, I don't know what Neen's up to in this like day and age on the gram, but there was a minute there where
Oh,
I ca- he's still
I
running
think
it.
I think he's probably. I haven't checked, but I mean, last time I saw, yeah, it was like he had a fucking guru page.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The fitness thing, the Whole Foods sponsorship, not
Did he have a
help.
Whole Foods
He was
sponsorship?
sponsored by Whole Foods, which, all skating and being cool aside, is like
Yeah, that's amazing.
uh,
I'd love a Whole Foods sponsorship.
me
It's just the
too.
like, it's not. It just doesn't generally jive with like with skateboarding really to be sponsored by Amazon groceries. It's just not
Yeah,
like from a personal level I'd never knock it and be like no, get that bag king or whatever, but it's like you obviously make a choice and I like you can't have it both ways. I don't think you can't be a cool skateboarder and be posting IG reels of yourself working out. It's like if you and I'm sure there are plenty of skaters that like take care of themselves, do physical therapy and stuff, but they're making moves in silence,
yeah,
and letting their footy do the talking.
yeah,
I think it's pretty much impossible, unless you're like an influence. Maybe like Weck would be able to pull it off or somebody like that. But I think it's like it's nearly impossible to be a cool, mysterious skateboarder and fucking be posting gym selfies. It doesn't really work.
absolutely. Unless you're like on some mega ironic like thirst trap shit,
Right.
like maybe David Gonzalez could get there.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Maybe.
yeah, I agree. Neen, yeah, I appreciate all the bags he's getting. He's got his restaurant franchise thing going on now that's like doing pretty well. So get your money.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's going straight middle tier, I think, next to Shorty Steve Olson. I think that's a fair.
Yeah,
I don't think
I
he's a
don't have.
villain. I don't think he's a,
No, I mean he's doing his thing. It's just like, from a skateboarding fan perspective, it's like obviously he's not really catering to my, you know, my wants or
yeah,
my desires or my, he's not no longer trying to appeal to the skateboarder gaze. And that's fine.
yeah,
But, he's gonna go mid-tier because of that.
or the skateboarder straights.
Or either. None of us are happy with what's going on.
TNT, Tony Trujillo.
Okay.
This is a tricky one because Tony T is only a glasses skater in the modern era. All
Hmm.
of his best shit,
Hmm.
he's not wearing glasses. He's got the long flowing hair. He's skating massive concrete parks in Oregon that were only built for basically him and a few other guys to skate, which is sick. But he doesn't really. Now he's a dad. He's dad mode,
Hmm.
glasses guy. I think
Yeah.
he's kind of picked up the glasses thing maybe from Phelps because they were homies. They were in the band together. Um, so yeah, TNT. It's not a style of skating that speaks to me. Especially, I can respect it. I can say, wow, look at that. Look how high up in the air this guy is. Definitely a style guy, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I had the same observation as you, which is I'm like part-time glasses guy. And I feel like I need to draw a line in the sand and be like, you're either with us or you're against us. I don't play about this glasses shit. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want any fence sitting, oh, I'm part-time glasses guy, no, either
Yeah.
you're a glasses guy or you're not a glasses guy. And for me, like, I don't I don't think that to me, like the glass, it's not a choice.
Yeah.
Like being black or gay. There's an iconic post on a thread. It's like being emo isn't a choice, like being black or gay. Wearing glasses is the same thing. You don't just get to choose once your wife starts popping out some kids that you're an intelligent, spectacle guy now. At least for me, I've lived this my whole fucking life. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Even before I needed glasses, I knew it was my destiny. In kindergarten, they tested our vision, and I lied. I lied, and I got everything wrong because I wanted glasses. I knew that this was who I was even before it was physically manifesting and so for me, like you can't even be up there with the real glasses wearers for me. You've got to be bottom to low tier. I mean, I would say bottom tier.
Yeah. I think yeah, it's true. You're with us or you're against us. I couldn't have said it better. TNT, I'm sorry, you have to go in the blind bozo tier.
It's nothing
It's
personal,
nothing personal. Yeah.
except that it is.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
Yeah. He almost doesn't even deserve to be on the list.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a big one.
Okay.
This is gonna be a big one. Burnquist.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's funny that I just did that whole monologue. I'm glad you set it up this way. Well, because everything I just said about TNT, that never happened. I never said anything about it. The glasses community would be more than happy to accept Bob Burnquist as one of our representatives. We're a genetically inferior group of individuals. So to me, we should be honored, that a man of Bob Burnquist's caliber ever, graced us and represented us by putting on a pair of glasses. So for me, Bob Burnquist is S tier.
Me too, absolutely. And I mean, especially as being somebody who could pull these off,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
Oakleys with the clear lenses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nobody but him.
Yeah,
could
I
do
think
it.
he's got the best frames. If you go on Google Images, you look up Bob Burnquist, it's unbelievable what he was able to pull off.
Oh
And
my god, yeah.
dashing.
Some of the press photos and the fits too that he was
Mhm.
pulling off in this era, unbelievable. And just like,
Absolutely.
yeah, just truly a legend in the game, household name even, as a casual, little as a little guy in the early aughts, I was like, Bob Burnquist, that's my guy. And I didn't even skate really. I was like, but I knew that Bob Burnquist was the man. So
Yeah, yeah.
a
He
Burn
didn't skate with glasses though.
I think he did sometimes though.
Maybe occasionally. Maybe
No,
occasionally.
He
But
he definitely ran
really?
he definitely ran the glasses. I think
I
more
was
more
watching
than you're
his
remembering.
Dreamland part, and this morning I didn't see a whole lot of spectacle action, but I'm again, like I said, we should just be happy that if he put on a pair of glasses once as a joke, as a party trick, that would be enough for me to put him in the S tier.
Yeah, like even like the Groucho Marx glasses with the nose and mustache,
Yeah,
attached. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
whatever it
Yeah,
is,
yeah, for
we're
sure.
we're taking him. He's ours.
Yeah, it's like the Dave Chappelle racial draft. Bob Burnquist, legendary glasses.
He's top. He's top of the
He's top.
top.
I think so
I'd
too.
put him
Yeah,
top of the
I
top.
I agree. Sorry, all female skaters. Sorry, Jake Phelps. I think Jake
Yes.
Phelps.
Sorry, all deceased and female skaters.
I mean
He's our number
Phelps
one.
shouldn't be top one anyway.
Mm,
I think it could be argued Marissa could even go ahead of Phelps.
okay, your list.
Just to reshuffle the deck a little, just for fun. This is
Absolutely.
we're just doing this for fun anyway. We're just
Yeah,
having
it's not that serious.
Yo, bro,
Guys, relax.
don't deep it. All right, Justin Brock. What do you think about Justin Brock?
Justin Brock. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what I like about Justin Brock is like obviously fast, relentless, brutal style, you know. And I also, I think enough time has kind of passed now to look back at like a skinny jeans, sagged beanie, like I must ask you a question type of drip, where it's like it's now I'm like that's kind of intriguing to me. Like I kind of like it. So at this particular point in time, I'm looking at that package and I'm saying yes to that package. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I fuck with it.
I'm with you. I think R.I.P. James Hardy, but that kind of era of like incredibly talented skaters. That's kind of I know that people are like, oh, skaters were better. Like kind of like late aughts, early teens. Like the level of skating was just insane. The level
Mhm.
of guy that was on sort of a mainstream brand was incredibly high.
Mhm.
Skill, just pure skill level wise. And it's funny to look back at it because those guys were wearing sag beanies and skinnies. But, now we're so fatigued by
Right.
the Deeds pantaloons that,
Oh
people
yeah.
are starting to get a little skinny curious in this day and age, right? And
Absolutely.
so
I'm
it,
even more than
yeah,
curious.
so looking
I
back
think
on
they
that,
crave it actually. I think there's a skinny's craving.
I think so too. I think we're just on the precipice.
Yeah.
And you coined the term the great slimming. I think it's already upon us.
Yeah.
There's another sort of dastardly character I have on the later part of this list that will speak to that directly.
Oh yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Jay Brock, I went back and looked at the footage, and did you watch that the Stratosphere part that he put out sort of more like in the past 5 years? It's kind
I
of
don't think I saw. I went for a vintage cut.
yeah, no, I mean the vintage stuff is all like was it real since day one and all that stuff. I
I
mean,
think I watched a real part. Yeah.
yeah, I mean his real parts were great, but he did this nollie flip wall ride in Atlanta, like 5 years ago or something, like while he
Mhm.
was already like a TM, like no longer
Yeah.
pro.
Hmm.
Really sick, really
Yeah.
sick
He's got
skater
the
stuff.
fire. He's got that fire that a lot of people they don't necessarily have. So I really enjoyed watching his footage. Um, and back on the pants thing real quick, here's the thing I want you guys to understand. It starts as a joke. Everything always starts as a joke. Riley Pavey memes are going viral right now. Ha ha ha. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Yes.
It's gonna get serious real soon. I want you guys to understand that.
Yes, I agree. I don't put him top tier, but I think I put him up here with
Yeah.
these guys. Definitely
Yeah,
a
for sure.
spectacled swag lord.
He's like, if I went to somebody's house, if I went to like a skate house and, we were all sitting down on the couch and everybody was getting ready to get amped up to go skate a skate park or some shit. If somebody put on his footage, I would be like, okay, we've got a man of taste,
Yeah,
operating the remote control.
yeah, definitely like a welcome deep cut to throw on the Justin Brock footage.
Yeah.
Definitely like a
Shizzle.
left field option. Okay, I feel like we're cooking now a little bit. We got some
Hmm.
momentum.
We're
All
we're
right.
we're perfect. We have perfect
We
style.
were we were born perfect. Have you ever seen Blade Trinity?
No, but perfect apart from our visual impairment.
Tyler Bledsoe. Okay,
Okay.
I gotta start this one out and say Tyler Bledsoe left us behind.
He did.
He was a glasses legend. Minefield, I would say, is
Hmm.
probably his most sort of impactful contribution to skate media. Um, but he kind, in the quasi era, even in the mother era, the pre quasi, he must be running contacts or something. Have you ever gone the contact route, Joa?
I can't just like look at my finger and poke myself in the eye. In fact, it's like psycho shit to me. I
Did you
can't
ever
do it.
did you ever try?
I've tried. I've tried. I
Interesting.
went like last year to try it out, put some contacts on. My eyes were itching. It was weird. I couldn't adjust. I felt like I was gonna fucking puke. And she's like, "Oh no, just keep them in for another 3 hours." And I was
Oh.
like, "No, I think I'll just not do this at all. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've never even tried. But
Don't do it."
yeah, no. So I think Bledsoe, undoubtedly legendary skater. Great tech acumen. He backside flipped that hydrant spot that the Burl Gillette
Hmm.
tray flip war went down on, which I think is way cooler than either of those tricks.
Hmm.
Um, but he left us behind, and I think he doesn't really he kind of left skating behind too. You know, he's like into his tattoo shit now.
It happens.
I think he's a
It
villain. I think he's a villain.
Wow. Wow.
I think he lived long enough to become the villain.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think? Are you?
I mean, I think it's like, yeah,
Is that too harsh?
No, he's a class trader. He's a class trader. He switched and I was watching his footage in the Mother, and I was like, he's like a Becker Dunn premium. That's got like the same kind of like ectomorphic, like kind of like stiff,
Yeah.
like but very like polished style.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's a classic, like legendary street skater. But yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
he took off the glasses, and it's like, what possessed you to do that? Did the fame get to your head? Like, what exactly possessed you to leave your biggest fans,
Yeah.
in the dust?
Yeah. I
That's
think for sure.
not cool, man. It's
Yeah.
not cool.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll put Bledsoe in the second to last here. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's,
Fuck him.
yeah.
He left us high and dry.
Zane Timpson.
Okay.
This is an interesting one. I was never that like apprised of Zane Timpson, and then he passed away. So I kind of like most of what I know of him is retroactive, kind of people doing memorial type tribute type shit. But he was definitely a glasses wearer.
I think it was him. I didn't get a chance to look at his footage, but he did the back three into that like really steep thing, right? That's like on a sculpture.
Yes.
That was insane. That was fucking really, really gnarly. But
Yeah.
I also am like, I'm not overly familiar, with his footage. I'm not gonna pretend like I was paying attention to what he was doing either. He's clearly a really, really good skater. But yeah, that was never like my style or anything like that. But to my knowledge, he wore the glasses and he wore them proudly.
Yeah, I think he was sort of the pinnacle of what a glasses skater should be. A little fringy with his trick selection, not afraid to throw a boneless or like a straight no comply down something crazy. So
yeah,
I don't know, middle tier swag lord.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of fucked us with putting him on this list here. 'Cause we're gonna be in hot water.
I
No matter
know. Yeah.
So,
Should we put him up here with Phelps?
Guess what? Look, my hands right here. I'm not touching a mouse. Whatever happens right here, that's Fusili grind, not me.
I'm driving, baby. We'll put him with Phelps. Fallen.
All right.
Fallen men. He goes top tier just so we can shirk our responsibility of giving him any real rating.
Okay. All right. I like it.
All right.
Perfect.
All right. It's frog time.
Oh yes.
It's frog time. We're finally in Joe's fucking wheelhouse.
Which one are we doing?
Well, we're gonna start with Chris.
Okay.
We're gonna go. I got
my
3.
wheelhouse finally. Did Pat G not make the list?
I got him. There he is.
Where is he?
He's right there.
That's him?
Yeah, he was running that beard. I don't know. That's his
Holy shit.
That's his like the border headshot, so it was fun putting together these headshots.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got Chris, Evan, and Pat G. All frog riders, all frogmen. What do you think? You're the resident frog expert. What do you think?
Oh my god.
You look like a frog graphic right now.
Yeah. As I set myself up. Yeah, I mean, for me, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, this is so rich coming from you," because everybody thinks that I do like a Chris Milic cosplay, which is like, ironically, I didn't even watch Chris Milic footage until like after I already started making YouTube videos. I wasn't really that like Chris Milic is not like at all a like kind of a niche skater. He's pretty famous, but like, I wasn't even paying that much attention really. So the whole time I was like developing my style for the most part. I didn't even know and I don't even think that I really skate like Chris Milic that much, but sorry to be talking about myself, but I'm getting ahead of it because people are going to say stuff regardless, because I think Chris Milic is like iconic. I think he's an iconic glasses guy. He also has a really good catalog of video parts as well. He's teamed up with like extremely good, filmers slash video makers, Diego Meek and um, what's Daniel Dent. He's got really good parts, like really well edited parts. Very, very, very creative. Not only do I think he's one of the best glasses skaters, I think he's one of the best manual skaters, period. Like the New York City manual through like the grind blockers. I just think he's also like a truly original, skateboarder. He's been running shit like basketball shorts forever that is just stuff that's like catching on now. Um, yeah, I think he's really, really, really. I mean, he's skilled, but he's not like he's not like Yuto skilled or something like that. But he does so much, I think, with his like natural skill on a skateboard that yeah, for me he's an S tier. He's an S tier pick. Like he's like the perfect glasses skater. He's almost like if like a guy going insane like at a cubicle job and then like on his lunch break he's like in the parking lot just spiraling out of control with his skateboard, just like man versus curb type thing. That's how I kind of view Chris Milic. So I like it. I
I
like Chris Milic a lot.
I completely agree. I think almost his skill set's almost like a day one song type skater, where it's just like unbelievable the kinds of things that he thinks to do with
Hmm.
his skateboard. Um, and yeah, and I agree. It's funny you say like cubicle guy, because it's like that movie Falling Down, which is just a guy going crazy in LA traffic, and then he goes on a
Yeah.
rampage and starts killing people. Which I don't think Chris Milic is going to do that, but he definitely has the capacity
It's not off the table.
right. Yeah,
Not off
no.
the table.
But yeah, it's true. And another guy who's sort of given his life to skateboarding, he has a deep catalog before the whole frog thing. And I think,
Yeah.
frog is such a great way for him to sort of, make his own impact and bare his soul a little bit. I will say I've never really been a fan of the frog graphics.
Mm, mm, yeah.
It's an art style I can't really get behind, but the video assets that they put together,
Mm,
Diego and Daniel Dent, yeah, and cool, interesting, good editing, funny. He
mhm.
seems also like a genuinely funny dude, which is kind of rarer
Yeah.
than you think in skating, and it's even if somebody's funny, you might not see that. It might not come through.
Yeah, there's like to me, I think there's like a difference between like weird original guys versus like dumb and like fried dudes. Like, I just that Roger Bagley interview I read where he's like, yeah, we just last episode we just talked about like skinwalkers the whole episode or whatever. I'm like, that's like a lot of skaters' version of like an original guy or whatever. It's like that's like an entirely different thing to like what Chris Milic is.
Yeah, no, totally. And Chris Milic is skate brained, but in the best way. Like, it's my dream to see Oscar Rosenberg skate this
Yeah, yeah,
ramp,
yeah,
like
yeah,
I love
yeah,
that, and
yeah. That's
and
classic.
it's so rare in this era that somebody says something in a video that you can remember and quote, and he's one of
Right.
those guys. So he's definitely for me top
Mhm.
tier glasses skater.
For sure.
I'll put him behind the fallen soldiers
Okay.
out
All
of
right.
out of respect. All right,
Right. Of course.
Evan Wasser.
Hmm.
I'm a super big fan of his skating. I think he's got amazing style, great trick selection, but he's
Hmm.
a sometimes glasses
Oh
wearing
no, he's a
guy.
he's a fair weather
He's a
glasses
fair
guy.
weather glasses guy. Yeah. He was wearing glasses in that clip where he's got like the prison pants on and he does the super
Hmm.
long 50-50
Oh
in
yeah.
LA.
Yep.
So I think for that alone he can
Hmm.
go swag lord. What do you
Yeah.
say? Do
Yeah.
you
I
agree?
mean, I think he's got to be. Yeah. He's swag lord. He's definitely a tween Grom fave. And I myself, I love Evan Wasser. He's too like in just describing Chris as like a really original guy as well. I think Evan seems to be like a very original guy as well. Like he's one of those dudes where pretty much anything that he does, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, oh, that's sick. I'm taking notes,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm taking notes on what Evan Wasser is doing because he just like he seems like he kind of has the Midas touch where he can't really do anything wrong. Not only that, but he's like really, 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 really good too. And I always like a skater, I think that like really matches their physical form, you know what I mean? And Evan Wasser's like a little guy, and I think he uses that to his advantage. Like in the 50-50 clip that you're talking about, like one of the best parts about that clip is at the end, he's like doing like this like skimboard style like power slide rotation thing.
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
And it's just like, God damn, that was cool. So yeah, he's I mean, I would have him probably top of Spectacled Swag Lord. You push back on that if you want, but I'm a huge fan. He does like, he does everything right for me.
I'm gonna put him just behind Chris Pastras, just for the old heads, and for
Okay.
that photo of him doing the front blunt, because that's, to me, that's all time.
All right.
But and establishment, contribution to skating. Evan's still got time. Evan's got
Sure, yeah,
plenty.
yeah. Yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
plenty left in the
Gotta
tank.
turn pro soon. I hope.
He's
I
not
know.
pro.
No, I know Chris doesn't. I don't think so, unless I missed something. I think he's like the next guy in line.
Next up, out of Frog Town.
Yeah, because Chris doesn't. It took Chris forever. I mean, Crazy Frankie only turned pro. Frankie Decker like
Yeah.
year and a half
Yeah.
ago ish or something like that, and that was like long overdue. So, yeah, he's got to be next up.
Yeah. Now, big Evan Wasser fan over here.
Yeah.
Pat G.
Okay.
Pat G.
Yeah.
Pat G almost didn't make the list, but I figured I'll throw him on there anyway, just because I got his bros on here as well.
Mhm.
Pat G's really good. Like, I went back and watched that part that he put out a couple years ago. Really good trick selection, really good manuals. I think he's a perfect fit on Frog. And I was checking. It seemed like he's got his glasses on in every clip.
Mhm.
You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he plays about that glasses shit. Yeah, he's a real glasses. He's an interesting individual. That's for certain. He's had some sick frames as well over the years. I like Pat G. I'm not gonna like, pretend that he's, somebody who's like footage I'm like salivating for or anything like that, but I think he's good. So I feel like he's a glasses wearer. Maybe top mid glasses wearer. So that's
I put him up there with these guys. I could even put him above the shorties, Steve Olson.
Mhm.
Yeah, this list is gonna be a little bit top heavy, just
It's taking
because
shape.
it's
The reverse pyramid.
it's a reverse pyramid, and we've only got a few more guys to go. But it's gonna be hard for us to hate too much on these guys, right?
Of course.
Because
Of course.
we gotta stick together, man. There's not that many of us to begin with,
Yeah.
so
Let me on my P-Rod shit. Jay-Z once had a line. The amount of real, blanks, the amount of real, he's like, there's not many real blanks left. And then Jay-Z's like, no, like less is more. There's plenty of us. You know what I'm saying? So like these glasses guys, there's not a lot of us, but the less there are, the more there are. Type shit.
True. True.
Oh yeah.
Damn, dude. You sound
Chills,
like
bro.
yeah,
Chills.
yeah. You sound like a dude that's into mature, refined, expensive shit.
Mm-hmm.
You sound like a
Like
guy.
cigars
Yeah,
and
you,
jacuzzis.
yeah. You sound like a guy that's smoking a stogie in the jacuzzi with a rollie on his wrist. All right, this is gonna be a controversial one. I think I had to throw this guy on the list because he's been in the news a little bit lately.
Oh yeah, he's been making waves.
He's been making waves. He's done plenty of features on the 9 Club, so you know.
Oh my god.
So
yeah.
he's gone mainstream if you got Chris Roberts watching this motherfucker.
He might just next party might not even be wearing glasses. The clout is got to be getting to his head with all these 9 Club appearances.
Oh,
all
you
these
think he's gonna
features.
pull a Bledsoe and
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it might happen.
ditch the frames? Dude, it seems like a big part of his brand, though. I don't know.
He might go Hollywood on us.
He might go Hollywood on us. Although, the fact that he hasn't gone Hollywood yet. We're talking Adrien Bullard right now, by the way, for the uninitiated.
I just assumed that everybody was on the same page and we're all telepathically actually communicating with one
For
another.
sure. Yeah. Well, on Fossili Grind, we cover a lot of European shit, but it's mostly
Mm.
like cool Scandinavian guys and not random epically random epic what is it randomly epic
Yeah,
French guys with skinny jeans.
randomly epic final boss right here.
Yeah, exactly. I think you coined that randomly epic
I think
guy.
it was Billy Teska that is the first guy I called randomly epic
Okay.
because he was the dude who did in the People of the Skate Park video I did a long time ago. And he is doing, like you look up Billy Teska, he has the most ridiculous like bag of tricks you've ever seen, like bunch of Ollie North late flip type shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
That's the
yeah,
guy who was
random,
like he was like late front foot flipping to like lip slide on the skate park
yeah,
rail.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
absolutely left field shit.
yeah. This guy is that, but like on the world stage. I think. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
totally,
Proper
totally.
street footage.
Yeah. Well, depends on what your definition of
I mean,
proper
there's to
is.
me, there's a point where you gotta just respect it, Like was
Absolutely.
that trick he did, nose slide off the kink front foot flip out, where it's like, dude,
Oh
that
yeah.
that's like a sick trick for that spot, and that is hard as fuck.
On the Ledome Hubba, yeah. I mean, and
The dome, yeah.
everything has been done on that spot in Paris, and as a
Or so they thought.
or so they thought, and as a Frenchman to be able to sort of hold it down on your home turf, I think that's pretty special. He's got a little bit of a diabolical sponsor lineup, Decathlon skateboards, and I think he's been running those Brazilian shoes, Oos shoes, I think they're called. Which leads
I don't
me.
know. There was definitely shade at Brzezinski in his part, though. He was showing the footprint shoe disintegrating.
Yes, yes, I saw that. They put in the B-roll of the
Mhm.
footprint shoe. Couldn't
Yeah.
handle the impact.
No,
Um,
no. Unlike Joey's claims.
yeah,
No.
yeah, he must have dropped a few too many bowling balls on those, but yeah, Bullard, he's really, if you want to talk about skinnies, he's really pushing the
Mhm.
envelope with skinnies.
Yeah.
And I mean, when did he backtail El Toro? Like 4 or 5 years ago? Do you remember
I
that?
don't know. No, but when I was watching his part, there were like four dudes in the chat. They were like, "There's just the guy who backtailed Del Toro." I was like, "Wow, that's fucking." I mean, I believe it. I haven't even seen the footage, but I'm like, he definitely could if he wanted to.
Yeah, well, according to Kelly Hart, I watched for some reason I watched the Nine Club segment where they're talking about this
Oh,
guy. I know, but yeah, no. Apparently
Adrien Bullard, you can't not click
you
on
can't
it.
not click. But yeah, apparently he introduced himself to Kelly as the guy that backtailed El
No,
Toro.
he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. He totally looking at his profile pic down there. He totally looks like he would. I can
Yeah.
see it now with my
Oh
mind's
my god! I
eye.
mean, look at the haircut. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Boulard, undeniably talented, randomly epic
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
And
Possibly egomaniacal Frenchman.
yeah, yeah, something about him. I mean, we're all fucking looking at him right now. We're all,
Yeah.
waiting
Yeah.
for his next move. So,
I think he's just destined for randomly epicness. I think that's where he will reside. I don't think he's gonna. I mean, skaters that are like mainstream, it's hard. It's like hard to even fucking be put on as like a mainstream skater these days.
all right. So where do you put Boulard? Where'd you put him?
Boulard, I mean, I think he's evil. I think we can put him in
I
the
think,
evil
I
tier,
think he's a villain. I think he's a
And it's
villain as
not
well.
it's not because I don't like him. It's not because like I don't respect him, but it's just like that's where the pyramid is going, and that's also just like what seems to make sense. Like he definitely has an evil vibe.
It's true. He perfectly fills out the pyramid. And just, as another caveat to everyone watching, no disrespect to anybody on this list. As a glasses skater,
It's like for me, usually when I do tier lists, I like to pick people, you like to pick people that are deliberately bad, people that are deliberately, evil or whatever. And
yeah,
it's like this isn't really like that. This is more like a NBA All-Star voting where it's like, we pick the 10, 15, however many 20 best guys of the league or whatever. And it's like there's gonna be a 21, 22, 23 guys that they think they get snubbed. And it's like it's fair they think they get snubbed, but not everybody can make it into the four-eyed legend tier. That's just how it is.
that's just how it is. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's all people we more or less like. I mean, I enjoy watching all of these people's footage, truly. So, here's another guy. Here's another guy who I really enjoy. Diego Todd, maybe one of the better representatives of glasses skaters in this modern era. You know, I think he puts his life on the line. It seems like he works really hard for his footage. He's the only one on the list that runs the Malcolm X frames, which I think is kind of an interesting move for a white guy, for a very white guy from Ventura.
I used to have those.
You
I used to have
them.
some people would comment on that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's pretty iconic.
And I didn't keep running them because people were like Malcolm X this, Malcolm X that, and I was like, I guess I'm not Malcolm X, am I? But I also I don't know. They are like a very well documented frame. They are popular.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's not like I think that he's biting Malcolm X's steez or whatever. Yeah. For me, I like him. I actually think that there's like a very good argument in terms of like anti-contestification of skateboarding, because Diego Todd has like kind of that thing that you can't like teach, where he just like tries really hard, and he's honestly, he doesn't seem like he's that skilled really, but that's like half of what makes him an entertaining skater, is that he comes away with hella W's in the streets regardless of that.
Yeah, he's the type of guy to just fucking throw something until he gets it. Yeah, I don't know, I really liked his Hockey X part. I liked some of the earlier Diego. I like the shaved head era of Diego Todd a lot. Honest glasses wearer.
I bet his shit gets mangled on the regular. His frames.
Defo. Yeah. No. He's had to have been through a few pairs of those Ray-Bans. So yeah, I don't know what do you put him? Swag Lord. I put him up here with Justin Brock, I think.
And I just think in like current meta, like he's one of our top guys.
That's true. Like out of anybody too. You know? Yeah, and he's holding on to the hockey dream. He's gonna be part of. He's hanging on to the FA camp. He's not cutting ties with them anytime soon.
Yeah, I think the hockey dudes, are okay for now.
I mean, Joe Campos is putting the team on his back right now, so it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. I think Campos and Diego is a good 1-2 punch for hockey. I think that gets. For sure. I think that extends the runway for hockey a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, fuck, we made it. Last but not least, I got Vince, the real Chicken Little Vince Palmer.
Yeah.
Ooh, doesn't sound good.
No,
you're not a Vince Palmer stan.
The one thing I do like about all these kids, where is it, Milan, that they all skate?
Yeah.
That they I don't ever see any skate park footage from any of these kids. They're always skating those street ledges. So I like that, but like outside of that, it's just like he's really solid. He's skilled or whatever, but he's like a supreme dunks type of, Milan footage. He'll have a couple clips in the Strobeck edit. And like for me, I've seen it all before, so I don't really give a fuck that much, to be honest. Like again, I'm not knocking his skill or whatever. He just doesn't really like stand out to me. I get why he's as popular as he is, because I think he's a good kind of like inspirational figure to the Grom community. But for me, like, he's not like, he's not that exciting to me.
I'm a little bit of a Vince Palmer truther. I think he's kind of sick. I think I think he's got revivalist steez. I think he's got almost like Baker 3 era, switch flip type tricks down medium-sized stair set swag. I like that he's Milanese. I like that he's Italian, but his name is Vince Palmer. There's something super random and like international European modern about that. And it seems like he's actually streetwise. It seems like I think he's like a bit of a tour guide for like the Nike team and stuff when they come through. So I don't know. I've always kind of liked him, even when he was just kind of a little kid. Now he's obviously like growth spurted up. I'm interested to see where he goes. I think he's got of all of kind of Strobeck's little crop of boys, I think he's got maybe the most potential.
No, the thing actually, I should say that I think works against him in the same way that it like I also said it kind of works for him in that he doesn't skate straight. Is like I feel like I see him skating the same like three spots over and over and over again, and that's like I think part of why I'm just like, all right. I mean, like, you know, you kind of lose me after a certain amount of time. So,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not hating on the kid. He's like a proper talent. He's good. It's just like, I want, let me see something a little different. Like when I think of Vince Palmer, all that really like pops into my head is just like a fucking repeating endless gif of like a nose slide on a marble ledge.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that Milan train station, it all kind of just like there's so much fatigue on that spot. That should have been out for 2025, I think. Yeah, I would like to see him get around a little bit more, but I do also like the Bobby Pulio thing where he used to say like it's cool to see footage of people where they're from.
Hmm.
Like I do think there's something to that, but I think get in the back streets a little bit, hop on the train, hop on one of those beautiful fast trains that they have in Central Europe and go around and show us something a little bit different. I agree with that for sure. I agree with that critique. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Vince, yeah, I think he's got more to show us. I like him. He's
I'm fine with a mid tier. I'm
I
fine with
I
a
put him
mid-tier.
mid. I put him mid. I put him up here with Pat G.
All right. You got no qualms for me about that placement. I'm fine with
I
it.
put him right there above Bullard. A couple of red-haired glasses having European
Dude,
motherfuckers.
poor Adrien Bullard, man. You got to think that if he knew where we had placed him, that would just like reinforce everything he's ever thought. Is like I just can't get a fucking fair crack at this thing.
I I fuck with him. I think he's sick, but
But he's evil,
there's something evil about him for
so he's
sure.
got to go in the evil
Yeah,
tier.
he's got to go in the evil tier. Yeah, shit, we did it, Joe. Uh,
Only an hour and a half ish. I mean, that's not too bad.
no, that'll cut down pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Shit.
yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, Joa. Shout
Of
out to
course.
everybody, all you glasses skaters out there. As many people as we were able to put on this list, I'm sure there's many more of you out there. Sound off in the comments of who we missed. But
Dude,
yeah,
my dog, after now years of filming videos on my computer, she now knows exactly when it's wrapping up. She just got off the bed and is staring at me. She
she
can
can
tell by
tell.
my tone of voice. You ready to go for a walk? Yeah?
All
All right.
right. Well, everybody say thank you, Joa.
Thank you for having me. Fusili Grind. It's been a pleasure. It's been a
Appreciate you,
pleasure. I'm
bro.
glad we could tackle this issue that has been plaguing. People have been wanting to
Yeah,
know.
man. We both have a unique skill set that enables us to speak on these types of things.
Hmm.
So we got to get in where we fit in, So I'm
Facts.
happy to be part of this rarefied air of glasses wearing legend. These nearsighted homies.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. All right.
Fuck
Thanks,
yeah.
guys.
Peace.
Peace. Later.